August 1942, Dr. Gerhard Reiger, a representative of the Jewish World Congress in Switzerland, learned what was happening through a German source. He told American diplomats in Switzerland to inform one of the America's most renowned Jewish leaders, Rabbi Stephen S. Wise, of all the mass murdering. But the State Department got caught up in anti-Semitism and decided not to inform Rabbi Wise. Rabbi Wise eventually learned from Jewish leaders in Britain. He was told by Sumner Welles, Secretary of State, to keep information confidential until things could be verified. November 1942, Wise was allowed to release info and held a press conference, and it was put into New York Times on the 10th page.
World War I, American press published false reports on German atrocities. This led to journalists approaching atrocity reports in World War II with caution, meaning the U.S. wasn't necessarily believing what was happening in Germany and other Europe countries.
Nativism. Cases of nativism became common in the United States. Only a certain number of immigrants from each country were allowed to enter through Ellis Island. American workers did not want any more competition on the job market from immigrants. The collapse of the economy and subsequent nativism could not have come at a worse time for the Holocaust refugees. While Jewish groups in the United States told anyone who would listen what was going on, there was anti-Semitism in the United States. With the rebirth of the KKK in the 1920s, Jews had been added to the list of things the Klan hated. This made the Jewish-led boycott of German goods in the United States extremely challenging. Anti-Semitism was not limited to the KKK or State Department. Walt Disney used anti-Semitism in his cartoons. The first Big Bad Wolf was given stereotypical Jewish features.
No, you don't know.
Ratchet Night Dog Girls. Okay. The Big Bad Wolf was given stereotypical Jewish features and only changed after Jews protested. Henry Ford may be the most famous American anti-Semite. Ford wrote newspaper articles about his disdain for Jews. He also wrote a book called The International Jew, in which he rambles about Jews' evil plans to take over the world. Ford even helped fund Hitler's Bavarian rebellion in Munich. In 1938, the Munich Pact was signed. This was the most disgusting act of appeasement by the British. British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain claimed that the Munich Pact had achieved peace in our time. In reality, this pact gave Nazis a 66% of Czechoslovakia's coal, 70% of its iron and steel, and 70% of its electricity. All the British did was allow Hitler to take another step toward conquering Europe.
Soviet Union. Soviet authorities were well aware about the persecution of the Jews by the Nazis. They did not pass the information. Soviet Jews stayed ignorant about anti-Jewish nature of nationalism. In all of his war speeches, Stalin only mentioned anti-Semitism once, on November 1940. The rest of the world. World leaders have been criticized for their failure to take appropriate actions to save the Jews.